How do you screw up a vampire superhero movie? I know, let's just give it to Sony. Oh, where do I start with this movie? Guys, Morbius has been pushed back like 5 times, and my anticipation level kept growing for this movie. The more trailers came out, the more Easter eggs we saw, the more the producers and directors were talking about it. I just got more and more excited. But sadly, none of it pays off in this movie. Jared Leto finally plays a somewhat normal character. He's a medical doctor slash scientist. If you look back at his body of work, he's played some off-the-wall characters, but sadly in this movie, he's rather boring. I think it's time to stop making excuses for Jared Leto. I don't know why he's in the same conversations as Leonardo DiCaprio, Matthew McConaughey, and yes, even Slappy. The other problem is Sony is in love with its nighttime scenes. I don't know if it's because they like their cameras or how it looks digitally, but I've seen enough of their movies to pinpoint one of the biggest problems. Those night scenes put me to sleep. They just did it in Uncharted and they did it in Venom, and now they're doing it here. And man, like, who edited this movie? Like, I don't know the technical term or the screenplay or the writing or whatever, but this movie was a huge mess. It felt like 3 14-year-olds put this movie together in 2004. Honestly, it felt like Michael Scott produced this film. Threat Level Midnight was way better than this. And then the detectives had no purpose. Their story was a huge waste of time. There was no payoff. There was no lessons learned at the end of the movie. And honestly, I would rather the movie follow these 2 guys. I enjoyed them on screen. Tyrese was dying for one of his classic cheesy lines. Ejectocito, cuz! Here's the positives of the movie. I like Jared Harris. He's great in everything he does, but he was severely underutilized in this movie. And Matt Smith as the villain, he was the best part of the whole movie. He was over the top, he was crazy, but he looked like he had a lot of fun. He's kind of the opposite of Morbius. They have similar powers but different outlooks on their affliction. But again, the writing was super weak. I mean, bullying, like we're still using bullying as one of the main catalysts for the bad guy. Stop bullying! And I really like Adria Arjona as Morbius's love interest. She plays a spicy senorita lady doctor, and she's Morbius's partner and love interest in this movie, even though it's super forced. And even though something really stupid happens to her, I really liked her character and I want to see her return in the MCU. She adds the flavor and life into this movie, and it desperately needed some of that because Jared Leto sucks it all out. And the fighting was pretty cool in this movie, even though there was like 10% too much smoke and bat radar waves floating around. It was like a huge CGI mess. You couldn't even tell what the hell was going on. It was like the freaking genie from Aladdin puffing his smoke all over the place. And overall, guys, there was just so many problems with this movie. The detective story went nowhere, okay? They needed a reason for it not to be rated R, so they introduced this blue blood that he would suck down like the same every time. He'd be like, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. Like, he literally does that like 4 times. And of course, every time he killed somebody, he would go, Fah! And there'd be no blood. You can hear the blood coming out and all shooting all over the place. Like, and the post-credit scenes are an abomination against humanity. I mean, I pray to the Lord to have mercy on whoever put these 2 post-credit scenes together, because you are going to need it, my friend. Wow. All right, guys, so Morbius was huge poo-poo, okay? My family fell asleep. 6 to 10 people walked out of the theater before the big action scene. The post-credit scenes were atrocious, and it was a huge editing mess. And that's why I'm going to give Morbius a D. Well, what can I say, guys? They all can't be winners. Some of them are going to be stinkers. But at Sony, they're on thin ice, in my humble ass opinion. All right? And that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Comment below, did you like Morbius? Obviously, I didn't like it. It had a lot of problems. And as always, guys, don't forget, take care of yourself, take care of your family. God bless, and we will see you on the next one.